Hey, what is up guys, I'm in another video, and today I'm going to be talking about why Dwight Howard is one of the worst, most hated, cancerous teammates in the entire NBA, if not in NBA history. That might have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but yet, I'm still going to be talking about why Dwight Howard is one of the worst teammates in the NBA. So without me rambling on too much, without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, so I'm first going to actually get into why he's actually good. Not a good teammate, but he's actually a good player. He had a 5-year stretch where the dude was averaging 17.5 points per game, 12.7 rebounds per game, 1.4 assists per game, and 1.7 blocks per game, where this dude was one of the best centers in the league, and people thought this dude was going to be a great player. He's a 5-time All-NBA, a 5-time All-Star, and a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in just 5 years. Think about that. And, the reason that everybody thought he was going to be great is because he showed absolutely no signs of, going down, and then he got traded to the Lakers. The past 5 years have been pretty much him jumping around the entire league. Because when he went to the Lakers for a year, he had a actually pretty good year, averaging 17.1 points per game, 2.4 blocks per game, and 1.1 steals per game. He had a career high with 12.4 rebounds per game. But he kind of butted heads with Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant, where Kobe Bryant actually called him a teddy bear. And Steve Nash, the dude is Canadian and was reported to be one of the nicest players in the NBA. How do you get in an argument? How do you get mad at a Canadian? He's Canadian. Come on, dude. I don't understand how you can possibly get, on Steve Nash's bad side. I know that was very stereotypical, but still. So, that shows you one thing. He had a very productive year, but he got in an argument with 2 superstars, 2 future Hall of Famers. And then the following year, he got traded to the Houston Rockets, where he actually stayed for 3 years. He had a pretty good 3-year stretch, averaging 16.0 points per game, 1.6 blocks per game, and 11.7 rebounds per game over his time there. So he kind of slowed down a little bit, but he was still one of the best centers in the league. But once again, he got in trouble with another star on James Harden, as James Harden came out and said he makes other players feel uncomfortable and that he complains about not getting enough touches. So a center with James Harden, who's one of the best scorers in the league, was complaining about not being able to touch the ball enough. And he's making teammates uncomfortable. So, usually to be good, be a good team or a teammate, you have to pick up your teammates and all that. And he was been reported to put his teammates down and always do that. So that's now 2 teams. He couldn't get along with Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant, where he both got in verbal arguments with, and then James Harden, who had also gotten verbal arguments. So after those 3 years, he was then traded once again to the Atlanta Hawks, his home team. Keep in mind, this was his home team. This is where he got traded to last year. He just played last year. They had a very disappointing season. He averaged 12.7 points per game, 1.2 blocks per game, and 13.5 points per game. So the dude was still all right. He really slowed down, but this was his hometown team. Not even his hometown team could keep him, even though he had a productive season. When he got traded, players were reported of screaming over the phone in happiness. Not oh my god, you traded him. No, pure happiness. You know how bad of a teammate you have to go to your hometown team, get hated by your players? They said, there was a report that actually came out. When Dwight Howard, was reported getting traded, their teammates were screaming in happiness and everything. But now, this year, he just got traded to the Charlotte Hornets, where I am sure he will manage to get in arguments with Kemba Walker or anyone else on that team. I'm sure it won't work out. And in my opinion, if this doesn't work out this time, I don't think a team's going to take him. Because think about this. In the past 5 years, he's been on 3 different teams, now 4 since he's going to Charlotte Hornets. So in the past 6 years, he's been with 4 different teams. How? And make it worse, the dude is productive. He's actually a pretty good center. I'm not gonna lie, he's a good player. The original video idea of this was why he's overrated, but then when I started researching it, he wasn't overrated. I just found that he's getting traded because of his attitude. He's gotten run-ins with coaches. Dan and Tony said he didn't like him. He got in arguments with superstars like Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, James Harden, and he's in his home team, Atlanta Hawks. So before I end this video, let's actually get into a recap. So the dude's a extremely productive center. Like I said, he's extremely productive, but he's been on 4 teams in the past 6 years because his attitude problem. He's been productive for all the teams, but he's gotten in arguments with every single star he's ever played with. He got in argument with Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, one of the best point guards to ever live, who's Canadian, so it's hard enough to piss him off anyway. He managed to piss him off. So way to go, Dwight Howard. That should be a record. And then also we got in an argument with one of the best scorers to ever live, James Harden, who's actually heard to be really, really nice and really, really like a good teammate. He managed to piss him off to enough where he was pushing them to start Clint Capella. They wanted him to play Clint Capella over Dwight Howard. He hated him so much because he argued for the ball so much. So after he got traded after 3 years there, then he got traded to his hometown team where people were happy when he got traded. Usually people were probably kind of sad, but no. They were happy when they heard he got traded. Think about that. And now that he got traded to the Charlotte Hornets, everybody's saying, oh, it's going to be the revival. They say that every time he gets traded, and it's never working out. He's always been good, but he's always getting overlooked by his attitude. So yeah, guys, at any point in this video, if you actually like the video, hit the like button. If you really, really like the video, hit the subscribe button. And if you agree with me that his attitude problem is, well, a problem, and, you know, and all that. So, yeah. And comment below if you agree, and just comment below what kind of videos you want to see from me. Comment below if you like the video, hit the like button if you did. If you don't like the video, don't hit the dislike button. You don't have to do that. That's kind of mean. Don't do that. Sorry. But kids, don't think I forgot about you either. Kids, remember, never do your vegetables. Always eat drugs. Stay safe. Wear your seatbelt. Goodbye.